I made this tutorial because my sister's nieces were wondering how I made my food illustrations, and considering that they cannot pay for their own things yet, I don't want to make a tutorial on brushes that you have to buy. First, we're gonna make your canvas. Click that plus sign at the top right corner on the dimensions. Put in 2800 pixels by 2800 pixels to make a square canvas and keep it at 300 dpi to keep it nice and high resolution. And I click CMYK because that's best for printing, just in case you want to make a little sticker out of it. Click the layers panel, the 2 square signs, and in the background color, just to make it aesthetically pleasing, this is just optional, I like to click this light tan color. Then you're going to click the brushes menu and go under sketching, click 6B pencil. The color that I'm choosing for the outline is this dark reddish brown color, and you can pick it on the color wheel by clicking classic and then bring your slider all the way to the left. You can choose around the reddish orange area and make sure you click around here where it's like middle darker end. So first I like to use the isometric grid. So click open drawing guide and then you do edit guide and click the isometric. Perfect. What I like about isometric is that when you make drawings or you make any illustrations, you can stack them on top of each other and the perspective stays the same. So you don't have to change the angle of anything, and it's just really fun. That's how I make most of my illustrations. With your 6B pencil, you're going to create some guidelines. So you're just going to draw, it doesn't really matter how many spaces. So you're just going to draw here and hold it down so the line gets created as a straight line, and then you're going to draw here and then meet towards the same point as the other line. And then you're going to find the midpoint of that line, draw from here, meet the other line, hold it down, and you're going to close this shape. It doesn't need to be perfect because they're just guidelines. Okay, now that's layer 1. You're going to click the N and you're just going to bring the opacity down, whatever, 29-30%. Click it again and click the plus. So now this is going to be your guideline and layer 2 will be your drawing. When you're drawing the egg, you want to make sure that that yolk is really plump. So I'm going to start somewhere in the middle right here, and I'm just going to make the shape around here. So I'm going to make a big arc, so big oval like this, and I'm going to hold it down to complete that oval. And because it's just a little off center, I'm going to click that arrow and then center it right there, and it's going to snap. Perfect. Now I'm going to close that ovally shape, so I'm just going to connect these lines, and I'm going to do just a very like a shorter version of that. I'm going to create another layer and I'm going to draw the white part. And then this circle is just a little too big for me, so I'm just going to reduce it so it's completely in the middle. So it's that size. I'm going to go back here. I'm just going to follow along here. I'm going to make it a little droopy. And I'm going to stop right there just so I can collect myself and then make more big waves. So big waves. Almost like you're doing a very droopy sunflower. And if you see this little line right there, I want to clean it up a little bit. So I'm just going to grab my eraser tool and I'm just going to clean it up. Okay. I'm just going to delete the guideline layer because we don't need it anymore. We just needed it for perspective. And you can turn off your drawing guide. These are 2 separate layers, but now I'm going to pinch them together like this so I could merge it. Cool. All right, now I'm going to create a plus sign and I'm going to drag this layer underneath the other layer. Now we're going to get started with the egg white. So I'm going to grab a color, like an off-white color. You want to grab around the yellowy part towards the white. So not completely white, just towards the white. I like not making it completely white because I think it's more interesting. Now you're going to grab this selection tool. So click this, click freehand, this, and click color fill. Got it? Oop. And then make sure you're in a separate layer than the drawing. You're going to zoom in and now you're just going to trace. Oh, make sure that you're in the selection tool. You're just going to trace. So trace all around. I like drawing, and if I need to undo, I just double tap with 2 fingers. I like just following the mid part of this egg, the line of the egg, and making this. So I'm just gonna go all the way around, just following that egg. Whoop. Go all the way here, and then you're gonna close it by clicking that white circle. And look, now your egg has been colored in. Okay, now we're gonna go to the yolk. I'm gonna make another layer, so I'm gonna click the plus sign, make sure it's above the white, the egg white layer, and I'm gonna get a rich orange color. I'm clicking around like this orangey area, more towards here. I like an orangey yolk. You can make the color of the yolk any color you want, okay? All right, again, separate layer that's on top of the white with that orange color. Click that selection tool as well. Again, freehand color fill, okay? And we're gonna do the same exact thing. You're gonna trace this egg. Whee! Again, close it. Yay! Honestly, you could leave it like this. It's kind of cute, right? She cute. But we're gonna give it some extra. So click that white layer, click the plus sign so you have a layer right above it. You're going to click it once and click clipping mask. So now everything that you draw within this layer is just going to be confined to this white layer, so it won't go outside of it. Think of it as an assisted drawing within the lines. Now click this N, scroll all the way up, and bring your multiply all the way down to 20%. Cool. This is going to be our shadow layer. Click your brush. You're going to go to artistic and click sassafras. I feel like I have to say it in a southern accent. I just looked it up. It's a type of leaf. Very interesting. Now click your colors. Grab like a reddish brown color. So in the color disc, or the color, the classic, this square thing, just click all the way over here in the color slider, midpoint between the red and the orange, and then click around this area. So you're going to get this deep red brown. Okay, with the sassafras brush, now we're going to basically trace out, carve out your shadows. So you're going to see, let's say the light is coming from this way. Okay, so light source coming from here, and it's going to create a shadow on the egg. That egg yolk is real plump, so it's going to create a shadow like this. So I'm just making this curve, almost mimicking the shape of the yolk, right? Like the mound of the yolk. So that yolk is creating a shadow this way. Now I'm going to create a shadow with the edge of the egg white. So this egg white is going to have a shadow here. It's going to have a shadow here, a little bit there, also down here, because again, the light's coming from this way, right? Light's this way, so you're not going to have any light here. So I'm just finding all the spots that aren't getting touched by light, just an absence of light. Okay, cool. Now, create another layer. Click that layer. So you're going to be above the multiply layer. Click clipping mask. Click the N. Go down to add. Keep it at max. Click your colors. Choose like a bright, like yellow white. So go to the color slider, click around the yellow area, and click above here. So not completely white, not completely yellow, but all the way to the top around here. Okay? So it's this bright, bright yellow color. You're gonna zoom in. Now we're gonna highlight all the parts that there's the most light hitting, okay? So I'm going to create a curve here. I'm just trying to follow the shape of the egg. Like there's a lot of light here, so I'm going to put as much light as possible here. And I like making little dots like that because I think it's cute. There's a lot of light there. It's almost like I'm using the light to communicate to whoever's looking at the egg that this is the shape of the egg, right? Like there's so much light here, it's more plump here, and maybe there's a little bit more light that hits this side of the egg. There's probably light here, maybe some light that's peeking through here, but just very lightly. So I do just the light piece here, just a skinnier piece, and there's my egg. Cool. So now I do the same exact steps with the multiply layer and the add layer on the egg yolk. So I'm going to click plus on top of the yolk. Click once, click clipping mask, click the N, go all the way to multiply, go to 50%. You're going to click that same deep red-brown color. And now we're going to follow the shadows of the egg. So the egg is round, so I'm making this semicircle. And I'm just trying to get a feel for the shape of the egg. And I'm not going all the way to the edge because the white is kind of bouncing some light back at this part of the yolk, so it's not going to be completely shaded. So I'm going to do like this. Maybe it's a little much. Like these, okay? And I kind of like giving it a little bit more body here. Body down here. Like that. Then like that. Cool, so I just made a line here, and then a big arch here. Cool. Same exact thing that we did with the white layer. Click your plus sign again, clipping mask, click the N, click add, and now we're gonna put your multiply or your add to 20%. Okay? 20%. Click that same bright white yellow that you did before, and you're just gonna follow the shape of the egg where there would be the most light hitting. Again, because the light is coming from this way, I would have the biggest highlights here. So I make like one big highlight color here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I like this little bean shape, and I like making cute little teeny dots and circles just to accentuate it a little bit more. Maybe that one's a little too extra. And right here. Cool. So now we've got most of the shading done. We're going to pinch everything together, okay? So you're going to take your 2 fingers and you're just going to get the top layer to the bottom layer, and you're going to pinch it all together. Woo! And now you're going to click plus. So you'll create a layer on top. Go back to your drawing, your sketching, to the 6B pencil, and go back to that dark brown color. You're just going to create some lines to give it some body. So I'm just going to bring the size down to like 20 to 25%, and I'm just going to make lines around the egg. So what I'm doing is I'm showing the viewer, so whoever sees this egg, the direction that, you know, the body of the egg is taking. So I'm just drawing lines here, doing little dots there because the egg is a little porous. I'm making little lines here, maybe some lines there, maybe some dots here, more lines here. Have fun with it. You're just trying to show, or you're just trying to exaggerate the shape of the egg. Maybe some lines here, there, maybe some dots here, because that egg is curving. Some dots here. You could stop at the shading, but I feel like these extra lines and dots just give it so much more character. Do whatever you want. It's your egg. And you know what I like to do? I like zooming in to a little area and just putting my initials on it. And there's my egg. Isn't she cute?